In this video, we're going to be talking about surface area. Before we get into surface area, we must understand a few concepts of geometry. One is volume. Volume is the space an object takes inside of it. Next is area. Area is the space inside one particular shape. Next is perimeter, the outside boundaries of a 2D shape. And lastly is surface area, is the area of all the faces combined. Volume and surface area is for 3D shapes, while perimeter and area is for 2D shapes. Sometimes we need to use surface area. An example would be something like a birthday party. If you were to wrap a cube, then you would need wrapping paper. However, you need to calculate how much you need exactly. Therefore, surface area comes in handy. The difference between surface area and 2D area, in area by 2D shapes, what happens is it only calculates one face. However, for surface area, it calculates all the faces. In surface area, we calculate all of the faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All 6 faces of a cube. We find the area of one side, and then we multiply that by the amount of faces there are. And through that, we get our surface area. Whereas in 2D shapes, you only do it on one side and the side that is given. Now let's calculate surface area of all these 3D objects. This would be our cube, and this is the cube, all the faces. And this is our problem. Let's say we were doing regular area. We would need to know side times side. Side times side equal to side square. In this example, in the problem, it says 9. So if sides equal to 9, then side times side equal to 9 to the power of 2. And 9 to the power of 2 is equal to 81. Now that we have our first face, which is 81, we have to multiply 81 times 6. The reason why we had to multiply it by only 6 is because there are 6 faces in a cube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's start. 81 times 6. The answer is 486. And also, we add yard squared. The reason why we put yard squared is because we're multiplying 2 sides, or yard times yard equal to yard to the power of 2 equal to yard squared. Now we're going to be finding the surface area of triangular prism. First, let's draw all the faces of the triangular prism. We have how a triangular prism looks like in all faces. This would be face 1, face 2, face 3, face 4, and then this would be face 5. In total, it has 5 faces. So now let's write the measurements. If we know the measurements of face 1, then it will apply the same for face 2 and 3. If we know the measurements of face 5, it will be the same for face 4. This would be 14 inches. And this would be 10 inches. The height would be 8 inches, while the base would be 12 inches. Now that we know our measurements, let's calculate. First, let's calculate the triangles. Face 5 and face 4, the surface area would be 8 times 12 divided by 2. Because it's a triangle, we have to divide it by 2. However, face 1, face 2, and face 3, we don't need to divide because it's a rectangle. It's equal to 48. Therefore, each face 5 is equal to 48 and face 4 is equal to 48. Now that we know face 5 and face 4, we're going to be finding the surface area of face 1, 2, and 3. The measurements, the length would be 14 inches as the width would be 10 inches. To find face 1, face 2, and face 3, 14 times 10. Therefore, face 1 is equal to 140, face 2 equal to 140, face 3 equal to 140. Reason why I'm repeating is because for face 5 and 4, they're equal, while face 1, 2, and 3 are equal shapes. Therefore, they will be the same measurements for each one. Now what we have to do is we have to add all of it together. You could do it this way, which is method number 1, or you could do method number 2. 140 times 3, and you could do 48 times 2. So now we have to add it. This is equal to 516 inches square. Now this could be one way. However, let's do the adding. 516 inches square. So we got the same answer again. Now we're going to be finding the surface area of a cylinder. The reason why it looks like this is because there's the face on the top, face on the bottom, and this rectangle is curved around. To find the surface area of cylinder, you need to find the area of one circle and the area of this rectangle. First, let's find the area of the rectangle. So if you look at the rectangle, you can see by the picture, its width is 7 inches. I gave a pretty good hint by saying it's 2 inches. The radius is 2 inches. So you must know the diameter is 4 inches. Therefore, the length has to be 4 inches. And then this would be face number 1. This would be face 2. And this would be face 3. Face 1 is equal to 7 times 4, which is equal to 28. Now we'll be finding surface area face 2 and 3. To find the surface area of circle, we need to find the regular area of circle, which is pi times r to the power of 2. Radius would be 2, and 2 to the power of 2 is equal to 4. And then we do pi. Now we'll do 3.14 times 4. Because we have 2 circles, we have to add 12.56 2 times. That's equal to 25.12. So now we have to add 28 plus 25.12. The answer is 53.12. So surface area is equal to 53.12 inches square. Now we're going to be finding the surface area of a square pyramid. First, let's draw the square pyramid. As you can see, this is a square pyramid right here. Let's draw the faces of it. Now that we have our faces, let's look at the measurements. So we know the base is 4 yards. And we know that the height is 10 yards. First, we have to find the area of the square, which is 4 times 4. So I'm going to name this face 1, face 2, face 3, face 4, and this would be face 5. There are total 5 faces. First, let's find face 1. We already know how to calculate the area of a square, which is side times side. Or, in this scenario, 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is equal to 16 yards square. Face 1 is 16 yards square. Now, we're going to be finding the area of faces 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm just going to be writing face 2. So face 2 is a triangle, and we already know how to calculate the area of a triangle. It is BH by 2. In this scenario, the height would be 10, base would be 4. 4 times 10 is equal to 40. 40 divided by 2 is equal to 20. We got 20 yards square. However, there are 4 of these face 2. There are 4 of it. Face 2, face 3, face 4, and face 5. Because of that, we have to multiply 20 yards square times 4. Or you could add 20 yards square 4 times. But you'll still get the same answer as 80 yards square. Now that we have 80 yards square plus 16 yards square, surface area would be 96 yards square. This is surface area of square pyramid. In conclusion, to find the surface area, you have to break the shape down into individual separate shapes or faces. With this, you calculate the area of each face and then add them all together to get surface area.